Hello there, this is Hugo for Retro Electric. Today we're going to be having a look at some parts for a $600 gaming computer. Let's get right into it. So for the CPU, I've chosen the AMD FX-8350. It is an 8-core processor and all of those cores are clocked at 4 GHz. This thing is a complete beast, it'll cut through any task you throw at it. It also has a 5-star rating on Newegg, so if that's anything to go by, a lot of people like it, a lot of people trust it. It's a great CPU for this build. For the RAM, I've chosen the G.Skill Ripjaws X Series 8GB set. If you've watched any of my other build guides, you know my only qualifying factor for RAM is the price, and this stuff is the cheapest I could find. It's $30 at newegg.com. For the all-important video card, I've chosen the MSI Radeon R9 380 4GB card. It's $220 at Micro Center. I was tossing up between putting this card in and the 960, which has a significantly lower power draw and is about $5 cheaper, but I had a look at a few reviews online, I had a look at a few performance benchmarks, and I decided on this card because it's got slightly better performance. I think it's averaged about 15% better FPS in most games. Anyway, so 4 gigs of video RAM on a 256 bus, and it's clocked at just under 1 GHz at 980 MHz. And of course it's a new card, so it'll support DirectX 12 and AMD FreeSync. For the motherboard, I've chosen the MSI 970 Gaming ATX motherboard. It's just under $70 at Newegg. It'll support Crossfire and RAID if you want to upgrade in the future. It's got 2 USB 3 ports and 8 USB 2 ports. It also has killer Ethernet on board. Sounds a bit menacing, but basically what it does is it prioritizes games, looks at your app list, what's running on your computer at the moment, and it'll see if it can find any games, and if it can, it'll prioritize the internet connection for those apps, so you're not going to get lag in your games if you're running other applications. Anyway, that could be a deciding factor for buying this motherboard if that's something that you consider valuable. Anyway, so that's our motherboard, the MSI 970 Gaming. For the storage, I've chosen the Seagate 1TB hybrid internal drive. It's basically a mix of an SSD and a hard drive, so you get the faster read and write speeds of an SSD, but the larger storage of a hard drive. Kind of the best of both worlds. Of course, it's not as fast as an SSD and it's not as cheap as a hard drive, but it does kind of combine the two, and it's great if you don't want to spend money on both. Anyway, so that's the Seagate 1TB hybrid drive for just under $70. So to house all these parts, I've chosen the NZXT S340 case. It has a large side window on the side so you can see all the components through it. It's also got a steel body. It's a feature that I really like. So you're not going to get any dinky plastic bits falling off the side. Completely steel apart from the side window, of course, which is plastic. So that's a feature that's really good. Unfortunately, it does only have two 2.5 and 3.5 internal bays. I mean, you'll see other cases that have like 10 or 8 internal bays, and really that's just a headline feature. You don't really need that unless you're planning on making this computer a NAS server, which is not something we're doing. So 4 internal bays rather will do us just fine in this computer. Finally, powering the whole system, I've chosen the Corsair CX 600 watt power supply. It's 80 plus bronze certified, so that's good, and it's also semi-modular, which means it'll be a bit easy to cable manage. You're not going to have to plug in what you don't need when you're building a computer, which can save a hell of a lot of time, both when you're making it and when you're upgrading it in the future. So there you go, that's our $600 gaming computer. I'll put some performance benchmarks on screen right now so you can see what this computer is likely to get in some real world games. Yeah, but like I say, I mean, and like you can see from the performance, what you're getting from this computer at such a traditionally low price point for PC gaming is just insane. You're getting whatever you want to play at 60 FPS at 1080p on all high settings. That was virtually unheard of 2 years ago, especially at only $600. So really, if you're getting into PC gaming right now, you couldn't have chosen a better time. So with that said, that pretty much wraps up our build guide. I hope you've got something out of it. If you have done so, or if you've built the computer, feel free to leave me a comment in the comment sections and tell me about how it went, or if you've made any improvements. Anyway, I've been Hugo for Retro Electric. Thank you for watching.